I have been a fan of the fantasy genre since I was a boy. My dad would read to me before I could read, and then any of my free time spent reading has always been, well, more often than not, has been reading fantasy genre. I'm a big PC gamer as well, and so I spent a lot of my time playing role-playing games in that genre and played the Witcher games. I played The Witcher 3 through twice, and then I just, this is the kind of thing I do. This is the kind of thing I do in my free time. So the opportunity to work on this for real and make it my job as well, get paid for doing my hobby stuff, was ideal. And I just wanted to make sure that Geralt was represented as accurately as possible.
So these are books that you read as a kid, and now you get to play the character.
I didn't read the books as a kid. I played the games. They released a game called Witcher 3 it's about 5 years ago now. Played that game to the death.
Really?
And then I heard it was coming out. I met the showrunner, and that's when I learned there were books. Read the books, and I realized I was missing out on a whole world of the stuff because I've been into the fantasy genre since I was a kid. Since before I could read, my dad was reading me fantasy books. When it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have. And people are going to be upset because, especially when you're talking about books or games, because you're never going to be the exact person who they had in their head or who they played on Witcher 3, for example. I don't necessarily consider that toxic. I just consider that passionate. And it's something which I have obviously had to come to terms with over the years.
Did you play the video games as research?
Yes, I did. In fact, I played the video games before reading the books.
Yeah.
I thought the books were based upon the games because anytime I saw a Witcher book, it was always game art on the cover. And after meeting with Lauren, she told me about the books. I ended up reading the books and loving them. I've been a fan of fantasy genre since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. And so, for me, it was a real treat to jump into that. And Sapkowski's writing, incredible.
Yeah. PlayStation or Xbox?
PC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're a PC gamer?
Yeah.
What, was that from when you were young? Or?
Yes. Yeah, my dad got me into that when I was very, very young.
Did you kind of build your own gaming PC?
I have not quite ventured into building my own myself. I have had custom PCs over the years. That will be the next project. As soon as I find enough time and the bravery, I might put my own PC together.
Yes, I knew about it. I'm a big gamer. I played the games and I read the books, and I loved both of them. I love the adaptation that the games is of the books, and it's a wonderful opportunity for me and indeed for us to be adapting the books into our own way. And it's been an amazing journey, and one I'm looking forward to continuing.
Were you guys surprised to find out that he was a gamer?
No.
Not really. No.
Not at all.
No, I wear my geek on my sleeve these days.
Right.
Yeah.
So why did you choose this role in this show, this series, Henry?
I have been a big fan of the IP for a while now, and I first was introduced to it via the games.
The book series on which this is based.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and
the video game.
Then I learned that there were games, books, and that was written by a guy called Andrew Sapkowski, and the books are absolutely fantastic.
You sought this role out. You're the one who
Absolutely. Yeah.
Why? I mean, you just love the games, love the books.
I love the games. The games are, especially Witcher 3, super immersive. And I don't know if anyone here is a gamer or anything, if everyone's played the games, but super immersive. And when I was playing it, I always thought it'd make a great movie or TV show. And
no kidding.
Yeah. And then I do that a lot with a lot of games and books. And then I heard that Netflix were making it, and I had my agents on the phone every day. Literally every day, I would call them and say, anything yet? Call them again. And we got through eventually, and they said, look, we haven't got a script yet. We've barely got a showrunner, so we can't give you an answer.
But you front-loaded your interest, and
yes.
that's got to help
They knew that I wanted it, for sure.
So I know I might be offending people out there when I say that when I think of gamers, I think of a guy in his sweats, some chips, Fritos, just sitting around.
All things I like: sweats, chips, Fritos.
Okay, no, seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, not all the time.
Okay, no, I understand. Clearly not.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how. Give me the gaming. I guess.
Like you want to know what I look like when I'm gaming?
No. What's your gaming man cave look like, essentially?
My gaming. I mean, I live in.
I've never asked it. Just so you understand, I've never asked another human being, what do you look like while you're gaming? I've never done that. I wouldn't. But I'm glad I eventually got to what I wanted to
Maybe
ask.
one of these days I'll send you a photo.
What?
Yeah. Please send gaming.
Just FaceTime me, Henry. That's all I'm
Yeah.
asking. Just doesn't matter if you're gaming or
Yeah,
not.
I'll live stream you.
But
It's good.
what does it look like? I mean, where are you? When
I
you're doing this?
don't have a man cave.
Come on.
I've got a small Muse house in London. What a Muse is, it's like an old stables.
Okay.
And they've been converted into houses over the years.
Okay.
And it's not huge. So my computer desk is in my very small living room.
Right.
And it's just at the end there.
So that's just it.
Nothing.
So
Nothing special.
nothing special. It's just a converted barn, right? A converted.
It's not even a converted barn.
It's
No,
not.
the stables themselves are all separate houses.
Yeah.
So it's one set of stables.
Yeah. See, this doesn't sound like any gaming experience I've ever
No,
heard.
and it doesn't look like a stables either. It's not like
Right.
sawdust and horses and stuff. Maybe painting the wrong kind of picture. Although
It's
if
well
you
put
want
together.
to believe that, believe that.
Why not? Just get the hair out of the way. I can't see my controller. So, what else do you game? What else do you play? Anything else?
I play PC games.
Okay.
Rather than console games.
Okay.
But Total War is a big one for me.
Okay.
It's like a strategic world conquest type thing. You know,
Okay.
as one does.
So, are you out there like where somebody's just gaming against you? They have no idea that they possibly are in a virtual world with Henry Cavill. Is
World
that
of
possible?
Warcraft? Yeah, but that's the only online game I play for now.
Okay.
That and Overwatch. But yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
those are pretty very popular.
Yeah, those are big ones.
What do you watch some of the professional gaming? Do you ever sit around and do that sort of
I
thing?
barely have time to play myself these days.
I bet.
And so if I'm watching pro gamers, I'm not
See,
I'm wasting gaming.
I
time.
have a buddy of mine who owns one of these teams. Okay. Not just
They're a big deal.
they're huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beginning to give out scholarship, like
Yeah.
actual academic scholarships.
Absolutely.
At big universities, but I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I mean, it's just, and my friend is like, "Oh, we're close to winning," and I'm like, "Okay, I have no earthly idea." But
good.
I know you can follow that sort of stuff though, huh?
Depends on the game.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
In the love scenes, the bathtub scene went absolutely viral on the internet. Did you expect that type of reaction from fans?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the games as well. And the bathtub scene is a massive piece of the games. And so, I knew what was happening when it was happening. I was like, okay, here we go. Like, I don't know if they know, but I'm a big gamer. And so I had played the games a lot. And then when I heard that the show was becoming a thing, it was a bit like an opportunity dream come true.
Henry, I know your background, you are a gamer, and the series, of course, is based on the books, but the games are also based off the books as well.
Yep.
And Lauren, for you too, it's like, how do you bring those all together and balance all that out? Because there's a large portion of the audience that has only played the games and not read the books, and kind of making it all feel at home.
For me, personally, it's like, it would be like playing another run of The Witcher 3, but with a completely different skin on. And that, I think, would be interesting, because I've played it through a number of times now, and it's like, okay, cool, I've done it, I've seen it, and I still get that same enjoyment out of playing it through, but what if I could play it slightly differently? Then, yeah, this is kind of what it is for me when you're doing the show. Yes, it's Geralt of Rivia, The Witcher, but he looks like me now. And for me, that's an interesting thing. It creates a freshness to it, because the themes are still very similar. Will there be Gwent? We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
When I heard Doug Cockle's incredible performance in Witcher 3, which I've heard time after time and time again, because I played the games a lot,
Fulfilling my end of the bargain. Brought you the head, just like you wanted.
I realized that I could utilize something like that and create this stony exterior, and I wasn't going to make him American, like Doug Cockle performed him in The Witcher. And so I kind of blended my natural accent with that gravelly tone which Doug uses. My tone tended to be a little deeper. His was more into the whisper range. That was going to show the boiled down essence of who Geralt was.
I want to ask you about your geeky and gamer side.
Oh, okay.
So because when we heard that your first approach to Geralt was through a video game, how much of a gamer are you?
Very much of a gamer. I mean, it depends on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to the average person, very much, massively a gamer. But if I'm talking to a pro gamer, no, he or she would think that I'm not as much of a gamer. I only have a certain amount of time in
in my life, actually. I was going to say my free time, but I don't have much of that either, where I get to play computer games. And when I do, I get very involved. I really get stuck into it, especially when it's a good game that comes along, like Witcher 3 or the Total War series. Love
What
those.
are you playing right now?
It depends. It depends where I am, because I'm traveling right now, so online games are pretty much out of the question. Total War, Warhammer 2, that's the one which I'm on now, because that's always a good jump-in game. I can always jump in, play for a bit, play for a few hours, pass the time, jump out again. And then I can come back and nothing's changed. I'm looking forward to the new World of Warcraft coming out. That looks good, and how they're resetting everything down to 60. That's going to be cool, because it makes the game a lot more playable. I never got back into the retail version of the game. That's why I enjoyed jumping into Classic, because it was 0 to 60 and it felt obtainable, where the retail version, it was, I don't know what they got up to, 100 and something, and you just think, ugh, I mean, that's just so unobtainable and so far away to start the whole game again. I didn't really want to do that. But now they're resetting everything from 0 to 60, so I'm looking forward to that. When you guys watch the show, you can say that is a Cavill piece of The Witcher, and hopefully that will translate wonderfully and people will love it and it'll become a great thing, like Doug Cockle's voice in Witcher 3, for example. If I were to use one example which people can compare to something, it would be the voice. Doug Cockle did his voice in Witcher 3. I was doing a voice at the start of the show and I was like, this isn't working. I need to bring some more gravitas to the voice. And I loved Doug's performance, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't just going to be a carbon copy of Doug's performance. And so instead of doing the American accent, I gave it to my own natural accent. And Doug's voice in The Witcher 3 it's in more of a whisper register, where
Yours is more like...
it's a bit sort of gravelly, more gravelly. And they are similar. There are comparisons, especially when one is conveying different emotions depending on whatever. And I can't wait to sit down with Doug and actually talk about this. But it's that's the one thing which I think I could probably say that's what I did, and it was very, very consciously done.